Instead of an Eiffel Tower, it was Ibu's big, bald head. Having a laugh. He's the sauciest player I've ever seen in my life. You can have from me for Reki. I'll bring you it in bed. Oh my god, this has got to be a handball. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to The Golden Sky. I'm Tom. Today it is the player ratings for Liverpool's 4-1 win. Yes, win against Newcastle in the Premier League, our first one of 2026. We had to wait until the last day of January for it in the league. But a great win, a great night. These are party ratings, guys. I'm feeling silly, I'm feeling excited. Let's get the lads on the board who played in that game. There they are, a bunch of absolute heroes tonight. Are we back? Liverpool might be back. 6-0 and 4-1? Attacking football? Are we back? I'm saying we're back. At least for one night, the mighty Reds are back. Let me have it. Let me have my joy tonight. But let's, as always, start with the Muckery Index tonight. Now, again, no major VAR instances. And to be quite honest, I don't know if you've noticed, but since we've introduced the Muckery Index, we actually haven't had a major VAR incident happen in one of our matches. And I'm thinking that they're scared. I'm thinking they're absolutely rattled, knowing that Tom from the Golden Sky has brought in the Muckery Index, and they're under, the magnifying glass big time for anything they do. It's going to be called out in the highest form of muckery. But tonight, the number one muckery item on the list tonight was Dan Burn, wasn't it? I mean, he was just going around mucking everything up. He was laughing for half the game. Apparently, Dan Burn's only got 4 fingers on one of his hands. He probably got peckish one day and ate it. But what he usually would eat, I think he's from the Sean Dyche school of food. So tonight's Muckery Index is a pretty simple one. Dan, let's go in caps here. Dan Burn eats gravel. Because he defo does. Just buckets of it, gravel, just like Sean Dyche who eats glass. Just eating it out of his hands. Occasionally bites off a finger, laughs his head off, goes around smashing people, pointing to his captain's armband, thinking he's sick because he's dead tall. Sorry, Dan Burn. Do you know what? He reminds me a little bit of I reckon he'd be a bit like Groot in human form. Like Groot's whole thing is that he just says his own name, like, I'm Groot, I'm Groot. I reckon Dan Burn just knocks around, I'm Dan Burn, I'm Dan Burn. Oh, nice one, Dan. Yeah, you eat gravel, mate. So how about that? Okay, let's do some of our players then. And we'll start with Alisson in the goal, who started off today's game. He had a little fight with Dan Burn, just a little one, little mini fight. And then Anthony Gordon decided he was going to go smash somebody again, like he did against us in the first game. And he smashes Ali. Luckily for Ali, wasn't as bad a tackle as Gordon's one on Van Dijk, and Ali was sound, and Gordon only got a yellow, but that was a spicy start to things, wasn't it? The crowd got right into it. It was blue and white shite, was all over the gaff. But don't touch my Alisson like that. Don't ever touch my Alisson Becker in that manner, Anthony Gordon, let me tell you, my friend, or you'll be in big danger. Ali didn't have a whole lot, really, to do, to be honest, tonight, apart from the goal he can't save, and the one after it when Gordon was a bit of a tighter angle and he has a shot and Ali turns it away. But just sums up Ali at the end when he runs to celebrate with Ibu. He just is, I always say this, the nicest fella on the planet, Alisson Becker. Like, I reckon if I needed a favour, I could ring him up if I had his number. I could bell him up and say, listen, Ali lad, I need you to do this for me. I need you to cover for me on this one. And he'd do it. He doesn't even know who I am, but he ran up that pitch. Emotional scenes there. It really was. So Ali tonight, 7. Just for being a top fella. Just a proper stand-up, top of the range fella. Gets a 7. And Szoboszlai fills in at right back. Is just sound at right back there. Newcastle's tactic tonight was whack all the fast players on up front. They had Elanga, they had Barnes, they had Gordon, and Szoboszlai dealt with it well. I think the pace, he made some good tackles at right back, especially second half when they try and get down that left-hand side and move Gordon over to left wing as well, and Sobo was just giving him no joy whatsoever. I am still a bit rattled by the nation of Hungary getting on to me the other week, so I've got to be careful with Szoboszlai. But I thought he was good, once again. Not amazing. He should have put the pass through for Salah. early on in the game when Salah was in. He should have hit that with a bit more pace, so then Salah could have gone and ran onto it and maybe got a cross Trippier and scored. But that's neither here nor there. We're not here to nitpick tonight, guys. We're here to celebrate because Newcastle have turned up to Anfield thinking they're sick, thinking they're all this and that. And the mighty Reds have rocked over and said, right, it's time to stop messing around now this season. Let's start winning some games again. So that's what we did. Szoboszlai played right back. He was sound. You wouldn't even know he wasn't a right back. He's actually quite good there. So no complaints from me. He gets a 7 as well. Right, then we'll go to Ibu. Wow, the absolute hero. What a guy. I mean, just an absolute top fella. He starts this game off. Right, it's the Royal Rumble tonight. It's happening right now as we speak. If any of you lot know about WWE, or you must have heard of the Royal Rumble at some point in your life. There's no way someone watching this video doesn't know what the Royal Bloody Rumble is. Well, that's happening right now. And if you don't know what it is, basically it's just a bunch of fellas just smashing each other and they have to chuck each other over the top rope. That was a little bit like the Liverpool-Newcastle game for the first half an hour there. Just big fellas smashing into one another. At one point, Ibu delivered a calf kick to Joe Willock. Like the first second of the game, Ibu was like, check this one out, guys. Just whacked him on the leg. Sent his ankle into Narnia. See you later. That was ace. And then he proceeded to have like the best game I've ever seen in my life. He was like a big French wall, just with whatever French stuff would be on a wall, like proper boss artwork, maybe a couple frogs' legs, snails, painted like the French flag with the Eiffel Tower just shining above it. Except instead of an Eiffel Tower, it was Ibu's big bald head just on top of this wall, being an absolute bully. He was ace tonight. So good. No one got anything out of him. He was winning headers. Recovery pace, excellent. Maybe going bald was the key. But then the absolute cherry on top of a pretty tasty cake tonight, a pretty tasty one, okay, was the first corner that comes in. Ibu gets a volley on it. You're thinking, oh my good lord, he's going to volley this one into the net and it's going to be amazing. He goes full, let me pick out an anime guy. He goes full Naruto, fires it in, gets blocked. You're thinking, oh no, how's that got blocked, But that didn't faze him. You thought that was his moment. It goes out again for another corner. Little did we know that in that time, Ibu was just channeling his power. Obviously just goes full Super Saiyan, turns into Goku, and absolutely, well, I say absolutely, he trickles the ball into the net, right? With the most, I don't even know how he did it. He like shot it. I'm sure it deflected off someone's nutsack and it trickled slowly into the goal. And it was boss. I mean, what a moment. Like I said, he's gone full Super Saiyan. He's gone Goku mode. They're about the only two people from anime that I know. I don't know anything else. I hope you appreciate my effort there, any anime lovers in the world. And then the celebration. I mean, let's be serious for a second. What a moment that must have been for him after the tragic passing of his father a couple of weeks ago. That's why he's not been in the team. He comes back tonight. He delivers probably his best performance of the season for us. A goal to top it off. I think it's his first goal with his feet for Liverpool. Deflected it in off someone's nutsack. He had Nick Pope crawling for the ball like a lost child in Asda. It was amazing. 10. That's a 10. And if anyone has a problem with that, then see me after the video because I will fight you. That's as clear a 10 as you get. Right. Okay, Van Dijk next to him then was also pretty good. I don't think he was quite as good as Ibu, just simply not involved as much in the game, but did some good bits. There was a little moment where, again, you just see Van Dijk's almost superhuman-like powers deteriorating over the years when he goes to challenge Gordon in the corner and he gives him a nudge. And Van Dijk actually is the one who ends up falling on the floor, even though he kicks it out for a corner. He's the one who falls over. In previous years, when Van Dijk was in his pomp, he would have knocked into Gordon, and Gordon would have flown right into the hill dicky, is where he would have gone, and Van Dijk would have just been stood there, unfazed. That doesn't happen anymore. He's lost a little bit of a step, but we're not here to talk about that tonight. We're here to keep positive, because Liverpool have actually just swiped the team off the park, and we haven't done that basically ever this season. So tonight's party ratings, And Van Dijk gave us a great performance there. Nothing in particular a moment where you were like, that was amazing, except for the one volley at the end of the game outside the box. If that had gone in, it would have been undies on the head again. And let me tell you, the undies tonight were on the head moment after moment after moment. Ibu's moment, not quite. That was more of an emotional moment. You know, you've got to keep the undies on the moment when... You've got to keep the undies on when it's emotional. It's disrespectful to put your undies on your head when people are crying. I've learned that the hard way. But we'll get into the rest of it later. Van Dijk, just solid. I wonder what undies he wears. 7. Kerkez. Absolute nutcase, this fella. I mean, just as nuts as it gets. As nuts as it gets. I wonder what he was like at school. Do you reckon, like, when Kerkez was at school, I reckon he was the most annoying kid ever. Like, if you were a teacher and you got your teaching plan at the start of the year and you saw what classes you had and you saw you had bloody Milosh in your class, I bet they were like, oh, for fuck's sake, we've got that absolute maniac. He's just crazy. Nothing epitomised that more than at the end when our favourite, Dan Burn, knocks into Gakpo, and Kerkez sprints about 70 yards down the pitch to have a scrap with him. Kerkez is at least 1.5 foot smaller than Dan Burn. I'm convinced of it. I don't care what the difference says. He's tiny. And he was there with his big mullet, which is just the most amazing haircut I've ever seen. Ready to fight him. And I love to see that. He also, at one point tonight, did a cannonball. I don't know if anyone saw this. He got fouled on the left wing, and as he got fouled, he jumped in the air, grabbed both his knees to his chest, and just cannonballed himself onto the floor. That was amazing, and that is now in future how I'm going to fall over. Whenever I fall over, I'm going to make sure I tuck my knees up and just cannonball. It was just stylish is what it was. That's the Kerkez special. Gets an assist tonight. An interesting assist, just smashed the ball long up the pitch to Ekitike, who will just do the rest because he's belter. But he gets the assist. So happy days. Didn't give Elanga a sniff. I remember the early game in the season, the whole thing was like, oh, Elanga's a good signing and he's really fast and, oh, Kerkez might struggle. Well, he didn't struggle tonight, did he? I didn't even hear Elanga's name once. So that was boss. Kerkez has shut down 2 Mancs in essentially his last couple of games. Playing against him on the wing, so we love to see that. Just a boss fella. There's really not a player tonight who played on that pitch who was poor. So for me, Kerkez gets an 8. I thought he was really good. Right, McAllister's next up, and he's been playing the deeper role in the midfield recently. We've pushed Gravenberch a little bit further forward. We've actually swapped those two over, and even in the 4-3-3 tonight, McAllister was still the deepest player. Now, there was a moment when he got ran past, which was what I was maybe a little bit worried about going into this game after we'd seen it against Karabag. But Maka dealt with that situation by eviscerating the fella, just swiping his legs out, doctoring him Fabinho style, and I loved it. Humpty obviously runs over with his yellow card out like a knob. Oh, I'm Humpty and I'm going to give you a yellow. Shut up, Humpty lad. Honestly, I'll just crack you over the head. And then what are you going to do? You could not be more bold if you tried. Knocking around. At one point tonight, Humpty was there, like, pulling on his shirt, going, oh, you pulled his shirt. Oh, honestly, Humpty, I'll pull your shirt off, lad. What about that? You big egg knocking around in the middle of the pitch. But sorry about that. I've just got irrationally annoyed at Humpty there for a second. But McAllister, just a good performance. I think he was able to use the ball well. He competes in the middle tonight. Newcastle had us under the cosh for maybe half an hour or so. But after that, we really had control of the game, to be honest. Maka's not the best when the game is fast-paced because he's got to run, and he literally can't run. But what he can do, an interesting thing, is we've now got our new set-piece fella who, like I've said in previous videos, I'm calling him Posh Lallana, and he seems to have unlocked our set pieces, not only attacking wise, scored another corner tonight, by the way, but defensively as well. We are much better, seemingly, from corners. And his new tactic from free kicks is apparently get the ball to Maka. He's always on the end of it every time. Little tiny McAllister, they'll never see it coming. Deceitful, I love it. Don't think it was crazy though for Maka, but I'm just going to give him a 7 and move on to Gravenberch, who I thought had a really, really good game tonight. Really good. The midfield for Newcastle is obviously a strong point for them. They were missing 2 of the best players tonight, Bruno and Joe Linton, from that midfield. They'd be first choice if they were both fit. especially Bruno, the best player. But Gravenberch took advantage of that. He's against Tonali, who people love. Especially Gary Neville. He bloody loves talking about Tonali. He's always talking about how powerful he is and how, oh, I just love Tonali so much. Well, just you stick to drinking Huel, Gary lad, because Ryan Gravenberch walked him all over Anfield tonight. I don't know if you saw. He was turning on a dime, on a sixpence, whatever, on a swivel. Any of the things that you can turn on, he was turning on them. He was in control of everything around him at all times. I thought he was really dynamic. There was a couple of opportunities that he had where he could have shot and he didn't. There was one in the first half where he had it on his left foot and he should have shot. That was a bit of a blot on his performance. But other than that, I thought he was excellent. Yeah, he looked so buzzing when Ibu scored as well at the end. So that's always just nice to see, isn't it? And yeah, I just think it was a good performance. There's not really much else I can say. The game was a bit of a mad one, really. The crowd was amazing. It ebbed and flowed for the first half until we decided to just go full fuck you, Newcastle. We're going to just win this one now. And we did. Gravenberch was a big part of that. Tonight he gets an 8 as well. Okay. Then, this one just brings me so much joy. It really does. Florian Wirtz. Just think about that for a second. Let's really, really think about this. We're in January here. We've had Wirtz for a little while, but let it sink in. We're still rating Florian Wirtz for Liverpool Football Club. And I think we can well and truly say that anyone who dared at the start of this season to slander this fella because he hadn't so much as got an assist is now... They should be banned from talking about football anymore. They should be banned, not allowed. They couldn't be more clueless if they tried. He is so good. A goal and assist tonight, just like as easy as pie. The goal, I could see it coming from like I was in the future. Give it to Wirtz. Wirtz has it. Give it to Salah. Salah's got it. Back to Wirtz. I said goal before he'd even shot. The ball's coming over. I said goal. He just swept it into the corner. He never lets me down. Swept it in so calmly. Left Pope clutching at straws again. And that basically killed the game, the third one. But the first goal, really, it's a big moment in the game because we'd obviously just conceded. We were not really the better side, to be honest. And then Wirtz picks up the ball in the middle of the box. And sometimes he just does this. Just dribbles through the whole team. Just like they're not even there. Dribbles through the whole team. Pops it across to Ekitike. I didn't even see the pass. Honest to God, I didn't even see it. Wirtz sees it. Pops it across. Ekitike knocks it in the net. Obviously does the rest. But Wirtz is just a genius. And watching him play is amazing. In an interview in midweek, talking about his start at Liverpool and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. My main takeaway from that interview is that they asked him what he likes to do on his days off. And he said, well, I like to eat breakfast. And I love that. Get this guy whatever breakfast he wants. I'll make it for him. Whatever you want, Flo, you can have from me for brekkie. I'll bring you it in bed. I'll bring you on a little tray. You can have all the juices. You can have all the cereals. You can have all the pastries, the eggs, the bacon, the whatever you want, lad. I'll give you as many breakfasts as you desire. As long as you keep playing like this, you can have... He just loves breakfast so much. I wonder what he had for brekkie today. What do you reckon he had? It's got to be something good, right? If he's playing like this, maybe that was his problem at the start of the season. Is that he couldn't find the perfect brekkie, and now he's found it. Carol and Caroline in the canteen are making him beautiful brekkies every day. What a performance again. Boards, I don't think he was man of the match. It was very close. Me, it's a 9 for Wirtz tonight. Very close. Konate gets a 10 because of a good performance. Obviously, the goal and the emotion. 10s are very rare. I think it's a 9 tonight for Flo. He was excellent. But he did give the ball away just a little bit here and there. But what a performance from him. Seriously. Oh, Salah. This is a problem because I said earlier, no one tonight played bad. But do you want me to be truthfully honest? Salah was probably crap tonight. Like, if I'm being honest, he probably was just rubbish. He gave the ball away so much. So much. Yes, he gets an assist, but he gives it to Wirtz and Wirtz does the rest. He was really bad. And it's really weird. He just likes to... don't really know how to describe how he plays. He doesn't have anyone running around him for an overlap, which definitely hurts him. But every time he gets the ball, he just likes to wait until the opposition come near him, and then he just passes it straight into them. It's really confusing. What can I say? he was probably the only one tonight who was maybe below the level that you'd expect from a Liverpool player. But he still comes away with an assist. He's the first player ever to register double-digit goals and double-digit assists against a single Premier League team. I think that was the stat tonight. Good stat. Fletch was on comms tonight. Fletch, I'm going to give Fletch his credit, right? He's a lot more tolerable when he's not with Ali. I think he gets a bit silly when Ali's with him, right? Ali, like, brings out the silliness in Fletch. It's like at school if you sat next to your best mate in class, you get all silly and they'd move you away and they'd put you next to, like, some quiet person that you never spoke to try and behave. Well, when Lucy Ward was with him tonight, he was a lot better. We did, however, have still, don't worry if you weren't keeping count of when the Milano, what's it bloody called? I can't even remember. The Milano Cortina. If you were missing when that was starting, don't worry, it was plastered all over the screen tonight. I hate it when the football gets in the way of my Milano Cortina advertisement. I really hate that. 6 days to go for the Milano Cortina. That, I believe, is the Winter Olympics. They've got to get rid of that on the screen. I can't bloody wait. Are they going to show me when the Milano Cortina's on? Are they going to show me on the side bobsleighing or something live as it happens? Who knows? But they want me to watch. Maybe I'll watch. Maybe the advertisements actually worked on me. Salah. Oh, what do I give him, guys? 4. That feels weird, but I'm giving him a 4. A man who certainly will not be getting a 4 is this glorious, glorious bastard. Oh my word. This guy is... I love him. I absolutely love him. I want to make him... I don't even have kids yet, right? But when I do, I want to make him... I'm not only going to name my kids Hugo Ekitike, all of them. They're all going to be called Hugo Ekitike, boy or girl. But I want him to be the godfather. I want him to be the cool uncle. He can even be the mum, if he wants. Listen, he's amazing. I love him so much. Listen, I'm going to be dyeing my hair like him as well. So, I said that in the last video. If you're new to the channel, by the way, I said in the last video, if it got 50 likes, I'd dye my hair like Hugo Ekitike. And of course, the guys managed to hit that in one day. So, thank you, but also, fudge you. I'm going to just censor myself there to not be so aggressive to the fans. But Ekitike, I'm going to have hair like him. I think the whole world's going to have hair like him soon because he's just that cool. His goals. Let's talk about his goals. Okay, the first one. He's in the right place, outside of the foot, knocks it into the near post. Instinctive finish. Beautiful goal. Beautiful. That's good. But the second one is where it was really like you saw what we've got on our hands here and you think, oh my word. How was this guy ever realistically going to go play for Newcastle? Are you having a laugh? He's the sauciest player I've ever seen in my life. He's like a proper good sauce, right? Not your standard Tommy K or barbecue or mayo. He's like a gourmet, like some sort of mad sauce you get in a Michelin star restaurant. That's how saucy this guy is. And Newcastle are probably the saucelessest, I've just made that word up, the saucelessest club in the league. They've got nothing cool about them. They've got Jason Tyndall stood on the side with his tan, looking like a knob, and then him just chirping Eddie Howe's ear off all game. Oh, Eddie, I reckon we should do this. Eddie, I reckon we should do this. Well, I'm sorry, Eddie, mate. You couldn't get Hugo. You never can, because he's ours, and he's boss. The second goal, Kerkez knocks it over. He squares up Malik Chow. He has a little look at him. He thinks, I've got you in the palm of my hand here, Malik Chow. He squares him up, looks at him, says chow to chow, knocks the ball past him, toes it, far corner. Beautiful. Just toes it in. Blonde hair, just shining in the Anfield lights. Channeled his inner Divock Origi, playing in a night game. Blonde hair, unbelievable. And then, when he gets subbed, he's walking off past over Newcastle fans who were giving him what I can only imagine was unimaginable amounts of shit when he walked past. How does he respond? In the coolest way possible. He points at all the Liverpool fans and then he just throws up a 3. Let me get this right. And a 1. Just throws up a 3-1. That's all he needs to say. I'm guaranteeing you we're getting an Instagram post from him. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. That's going to be hilarious. It's just really chef's kiss. This guy, Could never possibly be a Newcastle player in any life that's happened in the past or in the future. It's never going to happen. He's amazing. I love him. I absolutely love him. Have I said it enough? Tonight, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's a 10. That second goal goes in. I took my undies right off, put them on my head, and then imagine what it'd be like when I have platinum blonde hair like Hugo Ekitike and my undies on my head as well. Just an update on that. Will be asking work, just to be sure, on Monday if I'm actually allowed to dye my hair. I'm pretty certain that they'll say yes, and if so, in about 2 weeks' time, I will have platinum blonde hair. I'm a man of my word, I will be doing it. Gakpo. Right. I'm pleased to say, everybody, I am pleased to announce that Cody Gakpo tonight, get this, did not play crap. It's the most surprising bit of news ever in the history of the world, but Gakpo tonight was actually alright. He actually was. He looked a bit faster. He looked a bit like more that he could move. It was as though maybe someone had removed him from the mud he's been stuck in for like 10 months or so. He even took the ball on his left foot quite often. I know. I can't believe it. Now, nothing quite came off for him. He tried a few things. He couldn't quite get it to come off. He had a shot that went just wide. He had like a bit right at the end where he's like cutting in, going down the line. He's like dribbling alongside the touch line, and he couldn't quite get it across, but it's a good run. I thought he actually linked up well on the left-hand side. I thought he was competing well. He played pretty well. Like, there's not really much else I can say about him, but it surprised me. It probably surprised the rest of you. So, for me, Gakpo gets a very rare 7. What do we think to that? Tonight he wasn't so Gakpo, he was more Gakpo. Okay, quick cut there because I've got a pack of Tank Fastics on my desk and they were just looking at me right in the face and I had to have one to interrupt the ratings, so apologies, but let's do Jones. By the way, if anyone was wondering, it was a cherry that I just ate. Elite level sweet. So Jones came on, he's had a mad week. It looked like he was going to Inter Milan there for a second. He still might. There's rumours he might have fallen out with Slot. Who knows if they're true. But tonight we were watching that game and we were talking about how if you hit someone with this in an argument, you know, it's impossible to lose. And what I'm talking about is if someone says to you, oh, let's go to the cinema, you know, and you don't want to go to the cinema and you hit them with this, cinema schminema. You know what I'm talking about? You can apply it to anything in the world. You literally any sort of thing that you don't want to do. You could say, do you want to go out for a beer? And you go, oh no, beer schme. You know, you can just, and you can't win against that. Maybe Jones has done that to Arne Slot. Maybe he's gone Slot. It doesn't quite work with Slot's name actually, does it? Maybe he's gone Arne Schmarner. That's better. You know, you can't win, and maybe that just pissed Arne Slot off beyond belief. But he comes on tonight, did naff all, knocked around. So I had to think of something fun to say about him. I hope that was good enough. Let's just give him his 6. Like 6 schmicks. And move on to Chiesa. The ratings have got weird, guys. I apologise. Chiesa came on. He did one flick, a little back heel. It was 8 o'clock. It was party time. You know when Chiesa's coming on and flicking the ball around, it's absolute party time at Anfield. It was almost enough. I just about got my undies back on. It was almost enough to just get him on a little bit. Maybe not on the head. Maybe just down to my ankles. Just ready in case Chiesa scored. But he didn't score. He basically did nothing. We just shut up shop for the end of the game. He did, though, go ballistic when he thought there was a handball, and the ref didn't give it, of course, because Humpty, you know, to be fair to him, he is an egg. He doesn't actually have arms. He doesn't really know what a handball is. But Chiesa was running around, jumping like, oh my God, this has got to be a handball. But it wasn't a handball, and I'm going to give it a 6 for Chiesa. And we'll do Endo last. You know when Endo comes on with 5 minutes to go, all you want to see is him smash someone with the gum shield in. I was hoping it'd be Dan Burn, or if not Dan Burn, Anthony Gordon was next on my hit list. By the way, when Gordon scored there, he's celebrating, thinking he's sick, like he doesn't have a haircut like Claire Balding, knocking around at Anfield. Like, did he shush? I can't quite tell if he shushed, but he was certainly like saying, you know, stop talking, stop singing, blah, blah, blah. Well, how did that go for you, Anthony, mate? How did that go for you? 4-1. Send you back to Newcastle. See you later, mate. And Endo didn't even have to get near you. Endo came on, he won like one header, put a good cross in, and that was pretty much it. So he gets a 6 as well. And they, ladies and gents, are in fact the player ratings. Now, I really do hope you did enjoy the player ratings. Let's get everybody off the board here if I can do that. There we go. I hope you did enjoy the video, guys. If you did, let's get to 30 likes. We've been hitting 30 likes, no problem. You hit it on the last ratings because I threatened to dye my hair blonde if you did. But let's see if we can get to 30 likes again with no forfeit on the line. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new around here. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers. So let's start getting closer and closer to that. I really appreciate everybody who does click subscribe. Thank you very much for doing so. And the podcast listeners, thank you for listening as well. 5-star rating and reviews, all that good stuff. You know what to do. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I will be back. We actually have no midweek game this week, so I'll be back with a tactical analysis video at some point in the near future. But for now, go and enjoy the rest of your Saturday nights. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's party ratings, a 4-1 win. Liverpool are back. Maybe not quite fully back, but it's certainly a nice couple of games to win comfortably, isn't it? I think we can all agree on that one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really do appreciate it. I'll speak to you in the next one. Goodbye.